of the continent in one show.
Of a united Africa still faces major challenges, from infrastructural deficit and trade barriers to political fragmentation and limited cultural integration. Reports by continental institutions have shown that progress towards unity remains uneven, with disparities in governance, economic capacity, and policy implementation across the African region. Yet many experts will believe that cultural diplomacy, shared identity, and people-to-people connection could be the missing link that helps Africa move from aspiration to reality. Well, we are exploring this critical conversation with Ambassador Dickson Omoregie, Executive Director for the Institute of Cultural Diplomacy, to examine how Africa can strengthen unity beyond politics and economics through culture, identity, and strategic collaboration. Thank you once again for being part of this show and staying with us through the entire show.
Thank you very much.
The dream of a united Africa, is it possible? I mean, you are an expert in cultural diplomacy. Is it possible? Is it far-fetched with the sovereign nations that we have and different economic perspectives and political perspectives and different goals? Is it achievable?
Thank you very much. It is very achievable, not just only achievable, it's staring at us in our eyes.
It is?
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it is.
Now, there are several indices to show that it is realizable. For instance, trade. Trade. When you have access to trade from one country to the other, from one region to the other, that is first access. Gives the government access to themselves, give the citizenry access to themselves, give the traders access to themselves. That becomes communally. That's access. So that oneness, when you begin that oneness, you develop it, you build it, you will now begin to see that you begin to enjoy you begin to enjoy cross-culture.
Absolutely.
Then that is one. Two, you also discover that security has to be taken seriously. When it is not, when there is no security, you cannot talk about unity among these countries. Security has to be considered, and for that security, it is the government, the two nations, various nations, that will sit as okay. Let us do it. For example, now within our environment, within ECOWAS, the AU responsibility is to ensure that there is security in Africa. However, there's a little distortion within between the Sahel and other democratic countries. So that you see, when you're talking about security does not cut across religion, cut across age, barriers, and many other things. So when we're talking about security, all these nations have to put themselves together, all the various the defense ministries has to come and say, okay, let us secure ourselves. When that security is there, there will be free trade. And also, there should be what we call, for that unity to go on, there should be what we call, I will remember. But however, there should be some degree of tax relief, tax concession.
For citizens of the country?
For their citizens, yes. Right. That if you're importing from the countries they want to partner with, they give some tax relief. So when they do that, it will encourage them to concentrate on those countries within Africa instead of going overseas or going to far countries. So that encouragement has to be there. Then also, there should be what is called free trade zone, where visa there will be no visa. There will be the visa policy has to be stayed off. The visa policy has to be minimized. So when there is visa, when you have access to visa easily, like one of the countries we just discussed about, where they said, okay, you can have a tourist visa for 3 months.
So tourists and
if you look at ECOWAS, there was a time we were talking, let us start using one passport. If we have that within Africa, you now discover that you don't even need visa to go to leave your country and to go to the next country. So these are some of those things that you put together. If you put together, there is bound to be unity, and unity that I say is staring at us with our eyes will come to play, which is very possible.
Absolutely. That's a very good one. And it opens up this very serious data that was released, that if you put together all the trade that happens intra-Africa, it's just 17%. 17% is intra-Africa, and we are neighbors. You would expect that there is more activities. The Africa Free Continental Trade Agreement that was supposed to ensure this happens, I don't know what to say about the implementation of that. Again, we have Africa with sovereignty. We have Africa with all economic goals that do not seem to be aligning. While the world is seeing Africa as the market to look out for, Africa is not seeing Africa as worth trading within itself. How can we change this? You have mentioned how we can improve bilateral communication and unity, but how can we change this? What can African citizens do to pound it in the heads of their leaders to make sure that it's implemented?
Yes, two things to be done. If you look at some countries like China and Thailand and others, there are severe consequences for those people who have done what is wrong, who have stolen from their government. And when there are severe consequences, they don't do it anyhow.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
In Africa, we romance corruption. We part corruption, and there's no serious consequences if you go against corruption. So people today who are corrupt are those people today that are in powers. So the first thing we need to do is there should be serious consequences on whoever has done what is wrong, what is not proper within Africa. And when that one is done, others will be scared to emulate, because when they see the consequence of who, for example now, if somebody steals in Africa, even at present claim here, if people that are stole here, many of them are senators today. Many of them are House of Rep members. They recycle from minister to become governor, from governor to become senator, so they recycle it. And these are people who, as most of them allegedly, are supposed to be in prison.
But this exposes who we are as a people. These are people who we celebrate. They come with monies that gives them positions in not just in religious settings, but also in traditional settings. I was talking to someone. I said in Nigeria, the individual who was arrested and jailed for taking billions from the pension fund, today, because he's been given some
titles.
No, I mean he's been released based on the president's prerogative of mercy. He's getting an award. The Nigerian Bar Association is giving him an award. I cannot for the life of me understand why they are promoting this kind of activities where society does not frown at these things. There was such a time that if you are accused of stealing, you would do everything to clear your name because your children must not grow up with that kind of name. But these days they are like, even your children will defend you.
Yes, it will be difficult to achieve because, one, the people have no voice. People are impoverished. And above all, we don't have working institutions. Institutions are, most of the institutions that are supposed to take care of these things are assets. They are harnesses to government structures. They are harnesses to government structures. So whatever the such institution is supposed to do is being controlled by whoever has employed them.
Exactly.
So therefore, they cannot do anything. For instance, somebody who has stolen, and the EFCC or the ICPC decide to take on that person. The FCC can actually prosecute. They can actually jail. But when they have somebody who now intervenes and say, no, please, this one is my person, leave that person. You can't do anything.
You will see press releases from organizations telling you he's being attacked because he's from the northern extract or the southern extract.
Political persecution.
Yes, it is political persecution. I mean, we have others in other parts of the country that did similar, and they are not.
Yes. So for these things to work, first thing is that we have to have working institutions which will be independent from the various government structures.
Who would appoint? Because this is the issues. We say independent, corrupt, anti-graft agents.
Yes.
But eventually, if public office holders appoint these individuals, Nigerians or Africans really, this isn't even just the Nigerian thing, are distrustful of these individuals that emerge from that kind of election process or selection process, as this case may be. And they are skeptical to believe that you would actually, without fear or favor, do your.
Yes, you can do that if the person that appointed you has actually given you the opportunity to do that. For example, you come out and say, "Right, please work independently. I'm not going to intrude in this in your responsibility." I saw one of the countries in Africa recently, where the president came into power. He has so many gifts, so many vehicles. He now came up one of these. He said, "Please, I have gotten about more than 100 vehicles. I'm donating them." He said, "It's not for me. It should be given back to the country." He called the minister for works or whatever, or minister of transport, and handed over all of that to him. But there are some greedy presidents today who wants to possess all of them.
All of them, and line them up, even when they are dilapidated.
Yes.
Now we have really run out of time. So for people listening to you right now, let's say you are addressing African presidents at the moment.
Yes.
What would you tell them to ensure strategic collaboration and unity and integration within the African space?
What I would tell them is very simple. You African leaders, try to leave your feet in sands of time, because you are not going to remain where you are. Do something that is worthy. Do something that is remarkable, so that when you leave, people will remember you by what you have done.
Thank you so much for that. That's very important. Do something to be remembered for, so that we will remember you and remember you fondly for being part of the future of Africa. Thank you so much. That has been Ambassador Dickson Omoregie, the Executive Director, Institute for Cultural Diplomacy. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
Right. This is where we end today's edition of Razep Africa. I've had a wonderful time discussing Africa, like I always do. Like I would say, leaving you, love Africa. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Welcome to Razep Africa, the heartbeat of the continent in one show. Here, we celebrate Africa not as a headline, but as a home full of ideas, courage, flavor, and future. This is where we talk about everything Africa. The politics that shape our nations, the innovations that shift our economies, the culture that colors our lives, the challenges we face with honesty, and the victories we are building one story at a time. On this show, no topic is swept aside. We are unfiltered and we are intentional. We bring you experts from across the continent and the world. Voices that know, voices that live the African experience, voices that are shaping the next chapter of our story. Let your spirit rise. We don't just tell Africa's story, we own it. Join Joy Asonye on Razep Africa, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Global Television.